This interview is for information only and should not be considered as investment advice or a recommendation to buy shares in the company featured. Welcome to this Stockbox interview. Joining us today is Stephen Barriga, the President and CEO of Romios Gold. So hello, Stephen. Thank you for joining us today. How are you doing?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having me. How are you doing today?
Yeah, very good, thank you. It's good to be speaking to you again. Of course, we had an introduction on our Stockbox Premier live event maybe 2 months or so ago now. And we're just going to catch up today on some news released from the company this week, recently announced news that you've identified a major geophysical target beneath a newly discovered copper tungsten skarn. So could you just sort of, in your own words, put some colour on this, explain really the what you think you found here and the significance of the strong IP results and the potential scale?
Sure, absolutely. So the combination of porphyry and skarn target is alluring. It's quite exciting. We've found a very large, a very strong geophysical anomaly that's located right underneath the porphyry gold copper target and the skarn that we had identified last year. So this is an area that's absolutely new to us. I mean, as I mentioned to your listeners previously, we have quite a significant land package in the Golden Triangle of British Columbia. We have over 400 square kilometers, the majority of which runs along the southern boundary of Galore Creek. Galore Creek is one of the largest undeveloped copper mines or copper projects in the world. It's co-owned by Newmont and Teck, and a 50-50 partnership. And what we think we've identified with this IPMT survey could, easily be compared to maybe one of their core targets. There's 8 in total. This is a similar size to maybe one of those. And so essentially what we did last year, we identified a 1 kilometer wide strong epidote alteration that was overlain by 800 meters of Stockworks quartz pyrite. Essentially, it's the footprint that you would expect to see overlain over top of and around the porphyry of a porphyry target. So that led us to say, okay, well, let's shoot some IP and get a better sense of the potential sulfides beneath surface. And IP is a perfect tool to identify that. We also shot 3 lines of IP. 2 and one north-south crossing the two lines. We also shot an MT line. An MT gives you a very good or a much deeper perspective. It's not necessarily always as clear a picture, but we actually ended up with very good results in both cases. And what we ended up finding was a target, an anomaly that's over 800 meters. In length. It has up to 500 meters of width to it, and the IP shows it going down 650 meters, and the MT then shows it going additional 1.5 kilometers at depth. So this is a significant target. In addition to that, the program identified 3 other IP anomalies that we'll need to do some more follow-up work. We were really focused on, obviously, this core area. On top of that, this summer, from our surface work, we identified, as you pointed out, this tungsten copper skarn. And the interesting thing about that is, well, first of all, we weren't looking for tungsten. We had no idea that was really in the area, that was going to be an option. And to identify a skarn that has such significant high levels of both copper and tungsten was something that we were very excited about. So the tungsten assay is up to 0.68% of tungsten trioxide. To give you some context, the Cantong tungsten-only mine site in north of us, its average grade is 0.8. Mm-hmm. So these granted, there are very few samples. So, I think 21 samples in total. There's surface samples, but we weren't looking for it. And typically, these values will increase appreciably as we get closer to what the source of the mineralization is, Pluton at depth. So, we're 200 to 300 meters still away from it with that skarn that we've identified. So we anticipate those values increasing. So the combination of a very significant IP anomaly, this copper gold skarn at surface, the fact that we have a very significant epidote and stockworks of over a kilometer at surface, and then of course the magnetics that we shot previously that clearly showed the two plutons flanking the anomaly. All of this combined shows an exciting target, and this is one of those scenarios where we're in a region where we're looking for large targets. That's what the triangle is known for. But a lot of them have been looked at 10 times from Sunday with different companies and looking at different angles. To have a non-drill tested, brand new target of this size and scope is very exciting.
It certainly sounds exciting. So effectively, the surveys you've done, the IP and the NT, have not only identified this significant target, but also expanded the potential depth and length of a deposit. You talk in the news release about creation of a drill target of the highest priority, I think are the words. So, I mean, can you explain a little bit here, if you can, a little bit about the geology? I appreciate you're not a geologist, but moreover, yeah, why is it such a high priority? I mean, maybe your geologists have told you why, and maybe you can then tell me.
Well, I think in essence, the size, as I've just mentioned, the idea that it's and its location as well. I mean, we're about a kilometer away from a proposed road site that's partially already built. The idea that this is located in such a prime location, easily accessible by road that's being constructed to get into the Galore Creek area. The Galore Creek program, the GCMC team, have a proposed mill site just 10 kilometers away as the crow flies. So when you're standing at site, we can see the location of where the proposed mill site that Newmont and Teck have in the works. So all of those components, so the logistics from that perspective, bode very well for this target. And then, of course, as I mentioned previously, the size, the scale, the various levels of data collected to help truth and improve or further at least allow us to better understand the target itself. These are all pieces of the puzzle that help define and refine targeting for next season's drill program. And as you're, I think, leading, we're a small company with reasonable means, and porphyry targets are expensive to drill out. And I'm well aware of the realities, and I want to make sure that we bring the best possible partner to the table. As I mentioned previously, when I was speaking with you and your audience a few months ago, I was brought on board with a goal in a specific goal for the company, and that was to realize the value of these great assets and figure out a structure that will allow us to move everything forward, because we can't afford to do everything for all assets. So BC, in my mind, is a prime target for a potential partnership, joint venture, earn an agreement of some sort. And if I don't find the right partnership, then my plan is to move this thing through a plan of arrangement into a spin-out candidate to the benefit of our shareholders. And the same holds true with our assets in Ontario. It's a big area. It's a very exciting set of targets, drill ready as well. Now we need to find the right partner to move these things forward, because significant dollars are required. And we all realize that it's been a really tough market. We've seen the gains from the last 3 to 5 years dissipate and disappear for the majority of the juniors over the last 4 months. It's hard to watch, but it's a reality that we have to deal with. And while we do have some cash in the bank, most of that is earmarked for our assets in Nevada.
Okay, so the company will look to potentially focus solely on Nevada. You've got Ontario that's got drill-ready targets, and BC that we're talking about today. Almost too good an opportunity, it's fair to say, to miss with a lot of things you've described, not just the target, but the logistics and everything around what's going on. So let me ask you, how have you had any interest from partners then? What or can you tell us anything with regards to the strategy of either getting these things into their own vehicle? We've talked about that the market has been tough, or getting a partner involved.
I've had many conversations in general. I could leave it at that, to be honest. I think the reality is that yesterday's announcement, this week's announcement, so important to be able to get that data out into the public. This material, data. Now I'm in a position where I can really engage in various conversations. And as you, I'm sure, are aware, and as your listeners and viewers are aware, the Golden Triangle has been a very active area over the last 5, 6 years. I mean, there's majors are actively acquiring, inquiring into new potential assets. So there is a very long list of potential partners that I'm going to be reaching out to explore a potential partnership with, whether they be Canadian, American, Australian.
Okay.
There's a lot of money on the sidelines right now.
And do you feel you've got a good, a compelling proposition for these potential partners? I assume you do.
I believe so. I really do, and time will tell,
Yeah.
of course. But this size of target, and it's important to be able to apply the appropriate amount of funding
Hmm.
for the initial drill program. So that's why I'm looking to find a partnership.
Okay. Well, just finally then, so just to sum up, you're looking to engage in conversations for these two projects in BC and Ontario. Nevada, then, if you're going to take that as a sole focus of the company, what are the plans there in the sort of intermediate terms,
We
intermediate
have
time?
two assets in Nevada. Sorry, we have two assets in Nevada. One is called the Kincaid, and the other is SCOSA. SCOSA is an asset that we've had on the books for 23 years now. We have first acquired it in 1999, and we had some exceptional drill results right out of the gate in 2000. Now at the bonanza grade results, gold results, but at the time gold was trading at $200 or $300 an ounce, and it just wasn't a priority target. That's obviously changed. We've commissioned a 3D model to better understand the former workings. The old timers only actually mined down 400 feet at SCOSA. The average grade that came out was over an ounce per ton. So it's an exciting target. We'll certainly be getting drill ready in Q1 and Q2 to basically identify where a boiling zone level is. Anything above that has the potential for this high grade mineralization, and we want to track below the 400-foot level. Certainly, these types of targets could be 1,000 feet, 1,500 feet additional to where they already or stopped mining. And then in the case of the Kincaid project, this is an asset we brought on board last year. We staked it, and there's a lot of potential for copper, as we have found at the there's countless, it appears, the countless targets, old workings, former operations, trenches, pits. We need to get on the ground, and we will be boots on the ground very soon to keep on testing all the southern half targets, where we're finding this amazing type of material. As I've shown previously, this type of copper stained material is at the entrance of every single adit we've been to so far. High grade copper running with potential gold as well as silver. And then on the northern half, we're tracking these large skarns, as we previously spoke to in BC. The more blue sky structural model, where it's these thrust faults and the contact points with limestone at the northern extent of the property. Very similar model that is mined about 10 kilometers away at the Isabella Pearl mine. We've flown a drone mag survey. We're just waiting for final analysis on that. So news to come, news pending, and we're trying to track the size and scope of those skarns. So lots of work to continue doing, and additional news coming over the coming months.
Excellent. Well, it certainly sounds like you'll be keeping busy getting into the new year with drilling. So thank you very much for just setting out loosely there what the company is expecting to do. So thank you very much, Stephen Barriga, the President and CEO of Romios Gold. And let's catch up again at another significant point in the company's pipeline.
Look forward to it. Thanks so much for your time today.
If you enjoyed this interview, then give us a thumbs up, a like or a retweet. Subscribe to us on YouTube or follow us on Twitter and hit that notification bell to be the first to know when we release new content. There's loads of great content on our website too, across all our programs at stopboxmedia.com. Thank you for watching.